You know the vibes. Another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K23. BJ Armstrong, real name, no gimmicks, here alongside myself, Mo Moontsy. You know the vibes. Special day today. My show on Snapchat reached 50,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, BJ.
Congratulations.
The TikTok's almost at 20,000. The podcast, I can't tell you what that's at, but it's growing nicely. I'm going to just need to make sure if you're listening to this right now, you've subscribed so you're locked in for every episode. Because BJ, the real is back and the teal is back. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. My phone started going off. BJ Armstrong in his element. If you didn't know, the Detroit Pistons have brought back their teal colored jerseys. If you don't know what teal is, it's like a bluey green kind of color. The ones that you would have seen Grant Hill wearing, they wore it from what? 96 till about 2002.
We don't call it teal, Mo. We call it Detroit teal.
Detroit teal. Okay. So BJ was very excited. The jerseys are a classic design. I don't know why there's a horse on there. I'm guessing horsepower for cars in Detroit. Do you know why there's a horse on the logo?
Well, horsepower.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I just made it up. I didn't know that was the real reason. So it got me thinking, BJ, because it's a slow news day again. What are your top 3 jerseys of all time?
Oh, of all time.
Of all, so not ones that you've worn necessarily, but just to admire of all time.
Just very simple. I love the traditional jerseys.
So the Celtics.
Okay, Lakers, Bulls.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Hey, I'll even throw the Knicks in there. I want simple. I don't all this design. No.
Okay, I'm going the other way. Those Detroit ones there are nice, but the Toronto Raptors purple dinosaur.
It's just the dinosaurs.
I like those. See, people used to laugh at them, call them Barney the dinosaur, but now it's fashion. I really wanted, I don't know if anyone can help me get hold of one of these, the black and gold version of the dinosaur jersey. I couldn't actually find one of them. And even in some of my people in Toronto couldn't even find them for me because they sold out straight away. But the black and gold version of that was fire. Do you remember the old school Timberwolves jerseys that they used to have Kevin Garnett wearing?
Yes.
With that special Timberwolves font. I thought that was hard. The ones that they had Stephon Marbury and the Latrell Sprewell and all these guys wearing. Those were some of my favorites. Of course, the Boston Celtics. I like kind of the big logos. Do you remember the Charles Barkley Phoenix Suns with the giant?
Yes, remember those.
I thought those were nice. But yeah, I think it's tough to get it right. I think it's easier to make a bad jersey than it is to make a good jersey because I see so many.
I like the classic jerseys, just classic. It's just classic, just timeless. I don't need all the. I don't need the gimmicks. There's a reason. Real name, no gimmicks. No gimmicks.
What was your first NBA jersey you ever had? Did you ever have one when you were a kid growing up? What was your first ever one you got?
No, that's a recent phenomenon. Well, I grew up in like early 80s.
So your first NBA jersey was when you got to the league?
Yes. Yeah.
That's insane. I've always wanted to ask you, why did you pick number 10?
Well, it's a very interesting story. So as a young kid growing up playing, my favorite player at that particular time was this young kid who was drafted by the Detroit Pistons. He wore number 11. His name was Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And like every kid, you have your favorite player, and I had a chance because he was locally, I could see him play all the time. And I wore number 11 as well. And when I got to high school in the 9th grade, I wore number 11. And my high school coach said, someday you may have an opportunity to play against your favorite player. And when you see your favorite player, you better be prepared for that moment. And from that moment on, I changed my number to number 10 because
one.
I didn't want to give him any opportunity to have an advantage over me. Because what my high school coach was telling me was, it's okay to admire people from afar, but once you see that person in between the lines, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like wearing someone's signature shoes to play against them.
Yeah. I didn't want to give that player who I admire from afar any advantage. And then how ironic was, when I got to the league, that team, the Detroit Pistons, which I grew up watching, was the team that we had to play against, and I ended up having to play against him. So that kind of foreshadowed my career, which, I had a thing as a kid. I had a thing as a kid to never ask an NBA player for an autograph because of that.
Yeah. So because you knew you were going to be competing against them.
Well, I never wanted that player to ever have a mental advantage. Now, I don't know as much now, but there used to be a thing where there were mental games going on the court. Now everyone's just hanging out, being friends and buddy, and that's fine too. But intimidation used to be a real thing when we played. You were looking for a mental advantage on a player. And if you found that advantage, whether it was trash talking or you befriended that player or whatever the case may be, you took advantage of that.
So you were drafted by the Bulls wearing number 10. And then obviously battling with the Pistons, winning a few championships. Then Isaiah retired in 94.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got to the Golden State Warriors in 96, you went back to 11. Was that tribute to Isaiah Thomas?
No, I couldn't wear 10 because Tim Hardaway had 10 when I first got there.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about when you went when you went to the Charlotte Hornets then?
I forgot what number I was.
You were 10. 10 at the Hornets.
I was 10, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That was 10.
And then Orlando, you wore number 2.
Yes.
Why?
Darrell Armstrong wore 10.
Okay. Do you ever see was it a thing for you? Because you see LaMelo Ball this season is changing from jersey number 2 to jersey number 1 because Malik Monk was wearing 1. And so he had to wait for Malik to leave the Hornets to be able to get his preferred number back. Was it ever that deep to you or any of your teammates, the numbers that they wore?
No, not for me. The only time I ever played with someone who had a number issue was when one night Michael had his jersey stolen. We were in Orlando. I remember this. We were in Orlando and his jersey was stolen before the game. So he wore, I think, number 12, if I remember.
That's right. With no name.
And then he wore, and then he wore 45 for a part of that time when he first came back.
When I come back like Jordan, we're in the 4-5.
Yeah. When he came back from his first retirement. Yeah.
And so when BJ Armstrong went back to the Bulls had actually retired the number 10 jersey for what was it? Bob Love? They retired it because he was wearing
I think so, yeah.
10 before.
Bob Love,
so then you took the number 11. Was that the tribute to Isaiah then?
No, that was the only number. It was be honest with you, by then I just didn't care. So whatever the equipment he got, he was like, we don't have 10, it's 11, okay, perfect, whatever. It just, I had grown past that and whatever was easiest, So 11 was there, it was open. So I took 11 and finished my career there in Chicago with that.
Oh man, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Speaking of finishing careers, have you seen Marc Gasol lately?
I have not. What's he doing?
He's just in Spain, absolutely destroying anyone who tries to guard him. He's looking like he's turned back 5-10 years. Someone sent me a video yesterday, and it's just Marc Gasol just cooking everyone. But this is what it comes to in the off season. We're just eagerly awaiting our breath seeing where Kevin Durant goes to. So we end up watching some of that. Are you going to be watching any of the Eurobasket action that's coming up, BJ?
I may. I always end up watching it. I'm not, I'm not planning on it, but if it's on and I'm in front of the TV, I definitely will watch it. When does it start?
It starts, I believe, in a week on the 5th of August, unless I'm mistaken. The reason being, Luka Doncic will be representing Slovenia. Oh no, am I completely mistaken? It's starting in September. It's September, between September the 2nd. Oh no.
Oh, is it late this year?
No. So last year it was scheduled to take place between the 2nd and the 19th of September. So now it's between the 1st and 18th of December. Yeah. They changed it this year. September.
Oh, okay.
So Luka is leading Slovenia and Giannis is playing for Greece.
Interesting.
Which I'm going to be very interested to see. I'm really hoping we get those two going up against each other in the finals. The British team is in the same group as the Greek team. So one of my guys here in the UK is going to have to guard Giannis. I'm not sure who's taking on that challenge, but whoever you are, good luck. At least you're going to get some good Instagram pictures.
The Euro game is a little different. If it was an NBA game, I would say good luck. But it's like, to me, it's easier to defend as a team than it is in the NBA because of the rules. I mean, you can play zone full time. Yeah. I mean, technically, there's no illegal defense.
Yeah.
So, it's lane is wider.
I do think that Giannis, because of those rules, will have a harder time than people imagine because you can camp the paint.
Yeah, exactly.
And really load up using bigs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think Giannis' game suits the NBA game, and he's a far superior player in the NBA than he is in Europe.
Yeah, most definitely. And plus, he hasn't played in Europe for a while, whereas Luka plays most summers with his Slovenian guys. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's what's happening in the world of the NBA. I feel like we've got to start coming up with a few concepts. I've seen a concept online that I don't know if you're going to hate, but it's a game called Would You Rather? And you pick a player, for example, DeAndre Ayton. Okay. And I will then give you a list of names and you have to tell me which player you would rather have on your team. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm for it.
DeAndre Ayton or Rudy Gobert?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I'll just skip past Jokic and Embiid because they're clearly
Rudy.
Okay. Why? The defense outweighs the offense and defense that DeAndre can give you.
I think it's easier to build a team around Rudy than it is DeAndre Ayton.
Okay. What about Karl-Anthony Towns?
Rudy.
No. DeAndre Ayton or Karl-Anthony Towns?
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton or Kristaps Porzingis?
Ayton.
Ayton or Rob Williams III?
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton or Bam Adebayo?
Bam.
Why?
Versatility. There's no counter for speed or quickness. There's no counter for. I will always defer to the bigger, more athletic body, but then I'll defer to a skill set, right? So the toughest one that you said for so far is Rob Williams and DeAndre Ayton. That was
why is that a tougher one?
Because DeAndre Ayton has the bigger body.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob Williams defensively, but Ayton is, he probably could do that.
Do you think?
But he hasn't done that. Yeah, I do.
Do you think he has the same level of athleticism? Because some of the blocks that Rob Williams makes are actually crazy. Like when you actually go back and look at them, they're insane.
what Rob does is he gives maximum effort.
Mm-hmm.
He gives effort. That's defense. It's not anything that's insane. He gives the effort to do it. Like, that to me is way more impressive than the actual block. The fact that he gave the effort to do that at that size,
okay,
to me is that's because bigs don't normally give you second and third efforts. Most players don't give you multiple efforts. But the one thing that's impressed me about the coach there in Boston is the players were giving second and third and multiple efforts, which they didn't do just a year ago. So again, you'll see, that's why you trade for players, because you'll see something and say, maybe, just maybe, I can get him to do something that we haven't seen before.
What do you think?
Like watching, go ahead.
What do you think of the Phoenix Suns this year? These are just random thoughts that are popping into my head. But what do you think of the Phoenix Suns? Because for me, it's like they had the chance there last season now to go get it. And now they're keeping the same team, but they've lost a few players. They've not really added much to their team. And everyone can now look at them and say, well, we ain't really as worried about them as we were last year.
Well, Phoenix, when you have a player that's aging, right, like a Chris Paul. Okay, Chris Paul is playing at a very high level. However, at his age, you never know when, as they say, the rug will be pulled from up under you. He is an aging player. And as you mature in this league, you have to, especially in the regular season, you have to manage that player during the regular season. Mm-hmm. What I expect from the Phoenix Suns is, something I've kind of thought, I think I've said it to you before, but I'll say it here now, is they're going to have to figure out, whatever one however you want to do, one or two is either Booker, one, Chris Paul, two, or vice versa. Whatever, you can say, some may say Chris Paul, Devin Booker. In order for this team to win, Chris Paul has to be three.
And DeAndre and or Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges.
Whichever one. Yeah, whichever one. DeAndre Ayton is good enough. He's athletic enough to carry a team in the regular season. However, he hasn't done that yet. That's why, to me, there was a negotiation with the Phoenix Suns, whether you agree with it or not. Will he carry a team during the regular season? That's what a all-star caliber player does. A star player, a superstar player, will carry you all the way to the finals, and a star player will get you past the first round. DeAndre Ayton has all of the physical qualities that you could want. He has speed, he has athletic ability, nice hands, soft touch, multiple bounce. He can run the court. He can do everything you can physically want. Now, will he go out there and get you 20, let's just say 22 to 27 a night on a consistent basis? That's debatable. Now, if he does that, now Chris Paul can go and just be the third guy. Yeah. And some nights he will have 25 and he'll look great. And then some nights when he doesn't, because of whatever the case may be at his age, which is acceptable, DeAndre Ayton will have 25, 30, 40 points and will be able to carry the load. That, to me, is what the Phoenix Suns are looking for. Now, until DeAndre Ayton does that, he shows you glimpses. He'll have a quarter or two. You'll go, wow. He'll play a quarter or a half, or he may even give you a game. But you can't knock his talent. But consistently, will he give you that 22 to 27 a night? To be is what they're looking for if they're going to eventually win the entire thing. They need the big fella to step up and be that player.
Man, but it's going to be an interesting season for the Phoenix Suns. I want to hear from you guys. Let us know on the Twitter timeline which players you have suggestions for. Would you rather? And we'll get playing that because it's the off season. That's what we're going to do. Just if there's any fans of young British basketball, there's breaking news that the Hoops Fix, my friend Sam, who runs that media organization, have put together an elite squad of young British players to take on the powerhouse California Basketball Club, which features none other than Bronny James on August the 11th. It's going to be broadcast on ESPNU for you, BJ Armstrong. So you can check that out. We're going to be there live and direct, and hopefully see
Mo, who do you have a Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year this year? See, a lot of it depends on like the opportunity of the team that they fit in, right? So say the Sacramento Kings actually make it to the playoffs for the first time. I think that would be enough for Keegan Murray to get a load of the votes, you know, because he's really their main addition in the offseason. But then obviously volume numbers wise, it'll be Paolo because they're going to base most of the offense in Orlando is going to be run through him. So for me, it's between those two. I've got a feeling you're going to suggest Jaden Ivey, or do you have another pick?
I think it's going to be interesting. Rookie of the Year this year. Reason being is, especially in Orlando, who's going to defer to who? They're all so young down there. Suggs, Anthony, Paulo, you know, Bobo. They have all these young players. Who's going to defer to who? Houston, a lot of young players. Who's going to defer? I don't. Do I think they're going to defer to Jabari Smith? I don't think so.
No.
Do I think Cade Cunningham's going to defer to Jaden Ivey? I don't think so. So I think it's going to be interesting. Now, do I think those guys are all going to be good players? I think they're going to be good players in the NBA. But do I think they're going to find their niche like Scotty Barnes did, or like Mobley, or these players? I don't know. I can't see it as of yet.
What do you think about
but
Chet
as I was
Holmgren's
watching them,
chances?
I just don't think Chet's body will be able to hold up through the grind of an 82-game season. Not because he can't play. I think the kid has terrific talent.
So who's your pick?
I really do. This one, I don't know. Like, it may be a guy. Remember when I think Brogdon won Rookie of the Year. Yeah, he won for Milwaukee. I think it's going to be a guy like that, like someone we're not.
And like Dario Saric was in the running as well that year. Like,
yeah. I think it's going to be somewhat. It's going to be. I think Paulo is going to be a good player. I just don't think the offense is going to just go to him and they're going to just defer to him, because the other young players are still trying to find their way. You know, Markelle Fultz is still trying to. I think he's still trying to average 20 a night. I think Suggs is still trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah, he needs
Wendell
to make his mark.
Still trying to figure out. Yeah, I think, you know, Cole Anthony's trying to figure out who he is. You know, do I think he can average 15, 16? Yeah, I do. But I don't know if that will be good enough. So I don't really know. I think he'll get his chances. I think Jabari Smith will get his chances. But I don't think those guys are – I think it's too many young players. And when I see young players, you have to have exceptional talent where the other players will defer to you. And right now, I do think they're very talented. Yeah. I just don't think they're exceptionally or that much difference than the other players.
I also feel like you don't know what's going to happen over the course of the season, right? So say a team, say in the mid-first round, but their star player gets injured and the rookie comes in and steps up and fills that void, then, wow, you're going to have, this guy stepped up and the team got to the playoffs even without player X. On the other hand, you could also have a guy who has a career year in their rookie season. Remember when Michael Carter-Williams won Rookie of the Year? Like, he started his career with a quadruple-double, triple-double straight away.
Right.
You know, so there's that. I think that Rookie of the Year is the hardest race to call. You know, that's what we should do tomorrow. Right. We should go through all the awards races and give a ridiculously early pick. That's what we'll do. So you guys make sure you're subscribed, leave a rating, leave a review, and we'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget to hit us on a timeline with your suggestions, or would you rather. And tomorrow we'll be breaking down the awards races in an extremely, extremely early fashion. Till next time, my peoples, get buckets.